What's going on then, ladies and gents? Welcome back to another little video. Back out on the Jeep 125. And you join me today. I'm actually in Somerset on my week off from work on holiday. And I'm going to go and have a little bit of an explore of the local villages and whatnot. And I thought, seeing as I'm not really doing much else, I would make a moto vlog whilst I'm at it. So I was thinking of what I could talk about, and I thought, seeing as it took me a few hours to get down here, we could make a little video on basically going long distance on a 125. Can it be done? And if so, how difficult is it? And basically the straight up answer to that is it can be done, but it depends how difficult you want to make it, essentially. So I'm going to try and break down this video into 4 sort of sections. I've been trying to plan it, and yeah, I'm not really sure. It's probably going to be filled with waffle, but anyway, here we go. So number 1, I want to talk about the performance of the bike, how it performs on the longer rides and like tours and stuff. Number 2, I want to talk about the general overall comfort of trying to ride long distance on a 125, because I think that's probably the main thing that people are going to want to know about, especially on sort of a naked bike where you haven't got any fairings and it's a bit more windy. And then number 3, I want to talk about fuel economy and how much mileage you can get out of a tank on one of these things. And then number 4, I want to talk about how much stuff you can put on a 125 when you do go for a long ride, or you do go somewhere for a week like I am. And yeah, like the general like usability of the bike, I guess you would want to call it. Before we do get into the video, guys, I just wanted to update you on some progress I've made on a mod to the bike, and that is my RNG new tail tidy I've put on. If you don't know what a tail tidy is, basically it takes the plastic fender bit off at the back bike, and it moves the number plate up so it's a lot closer to the rear of the bike, and it just looks so much better in my opinion, a lot more tidier. Yeah, it pretty much does what it says on the tin, it's a tail tidy. So yeah, that's done now, and that's pretty much all the big mods I wanted to do to the bike. So obviously we've got the exhaust now and the tail tidy on, and I want to get some new mirrors and whatnot. But yeah, we'll go from there really. So anyway, back to the main point of the video. So point number 1 then, performance is probably where 125s are going to be lacking the most, especially when it comes to doing long distance journeys on, you know, motorways, or obviously I can't go on a motorway because I'm on a CVT, but you know, dual carriageways and A roads. Coming up here I was fairly lucky because there wasn't that much dual carriageway that I had to go on. The top speed of this bike is about, I would say, cruise pretty comfortably at about 60, and then anything above that is a little bit of a struggle. Top speed of the bike from the manufacturer is apparently 75. I have not been able to hit that yet. I think I've got up to about 73 downhill with a bit of wind behind you, but I have not been able to hit 75 miles an hour yet. I have a feeling that might be a little bit of a struggle, and that is like top end. Yeah, I mean, it really depends. Obviously it's all about planning. If you're going long distance on a 125, you don't really want to be going on too much dual carriageway just because it is a little bit sketchy. 50 roads like this are fairly nice because you can just cruise on them. But yeah, like I said, it's all about planning. You're going to be down on power, obviously, if you're on a 125. So it's just about planning sort of the quietest route possible, which I found is the best way to do it. Not only because you're not going to be, you know, rev bombing the bike out, you know, redlining it 24/7 on a dual carriageway, but you're also going to be able to have more fun, because yeah, if you're just going to be sat on a dual carriageway redlining it, then you're not going to be having that much fun. Whereas now, you know, I can sort of get into the twisties a little bit, pick up some speed, and yeah, it's nice to ride. So then my second point being comfort, and this is sort of where it depends what bike you have, I would say. Obviously where I'm on a naked 125, you've got a lot of wind noise. It's not awful, but it's not brilliant. Yeah, there's quite a bit of wind noise, as you might be able to hear. But also, you know, this bike's got a fairly comfortable seat, I would say. Obviously if you're riding for hours on end on a sport bike, then you're going to be a lot more uncomfortable, whereas this bike's seat, it's fairly a bit squishy, it's a bit nicer, and it's a lot more comfortable. I would still say after about an hour you start to get a little bit numb, and then after 2 hours you definitely need to hop off, even if it's for like, you know, 10 minutes, because your arse gets so sore. Yeah, you just get a sore arse, and obviously where you're not going to be going as quick, it's going to take a little bit longer to get to certain places where you have to, you know, you can't go on motorways and you have to plan it out a bit more. So yeah, it's not awful, but I would say, especially in your planning, sort of just plan in some routes that you can, you know, there's going to be a service station or something that you can jump off at, maybe grab a drink, go for a bit of a walk, stretch your legs, because obviously, you know, this bike, my legs are still pretty tucked up behind me, but my arms, you know, the upright position in terms of my upper body is quite nice. Coming down on this thing, it wasn't too bad. I got off about halfway through and sort of just had a drink, stretched my legs, because my arse was numb as shit, let me tell you. On to point number 3 then. So in terms of fuel economy, right now I'm on about half a tank, or exactly half a tank, and it's saying 93 miles. Now obviously that changes depending on how you ride. Obviously if you're riding a lot more aggressively, it'll go down, and if you're sat on sort of smooth roads with just, you know, throttle a little bit open in 6th gear cruising, then it's obviously going to go up a little bit more. When I have the bike filled up completely, I'm on about let's say about 270 something miles, which is pretty decent for one tank. It's a, I believe, a 13.5 litre tank, but don't quote me on that, I will correct myself if I'm wrong. I reckon you'll probably be able to get upwards of 300 miles even if it says 270, because it stays at the same reading for a while. At least that's what I've found. Obviously where you've got a smaller engine as well compared to bigger bikes, you're going to be drinking less fuel, and obviously that's a plus of having a 125, but you do obviously lack the power of a bigger engine. On to my final point then, and that is, how good ergonomically are you going to have a 125 for riding? That doesn't make any sense, but you know what I mean. You know, how many features are you going to be able to have on a 125 that makes it easier to tour? Now obviously with certain bikes you'll be able to get panniers. I think with the Duke 125 you can get like a tiny set of panniers, obviously you can chuck stuff in. What I would highly recommend getting is one of these that I have on my handlebar. Now it's not fully set up at the moment, but what it is that I don't have on there is like the X grip bit. So this is a RAM mount, and I will leave a link to that one in the description. And essentially that allows you to, you know, go on Google Maps or whatever, put your phone in there and basically get your sat nav up, and that is so useful when you're going sort of any kind of distance if you don't know 100% where you're going, because obviously you've basically got a sat nav hooked up and you can see where you're going, and having that on your handlebar is perfect, rather than having to pull over, you know, every, I don't know, 20 minutes and check which direction you're supposed to be heading in, which I was doing before, and it is a pain in the arse not having like a constant sat nav telling you where you're going. So yeah, highly would recommend a RAM mount. I think a lot of people think their phone's going to fall out of it. I thought that the first time I was using it, but to be completely fair, it stays in there nice and snug. It's got those sort of rubber grippers on the X grip, and yeah, it doesn't shake around at all. Obviously when you're bashing it over manhole covers. It does a little bit, but yeah, it's really super secure on there. Overall then, you can do long distance on a 125, but it is all about the planning. If you don't plan and you just go for it, you're gonna surely, you know, come across something which was unexpected, or you're gonna be sat on an A road, you know, revving the tits off your bike, and you don't want to do that because that's no fun. You want to, you know, you want to go from A to B, but the whole point of doing it on a bike is being able to have some fun while you're doing it, and especially on a 125, I would say. In my opinion, you want to try and take the quietest roads you possibly can. Like you see here, this is fine, but even legally you can go on a dual carriageway. I would try and avoid them like the plague, just because it's no fun. Second of all, if you can, definitely have someone in a car taking all your stuff, because it will definitely weigh you down, especially on a 125 with a smaller engine, having to carry all your stuff. And it's just no fun if you've got to worry about things blowing off. You want to be able to sort of have a bit of a rip around, have a bit of fun, that kind of thing. And I would definitely recommend one of these, the RAM mounts, or it doesn't have to be RAM because they're pretty expensive, but any kind of phone mount is a must when you're doing longer journeys. If you don't know where you're going, please don't make the mistake of trying to like pre-plan and somehow get the route into your head from a map before you go, because trust me, you're going to forget things and it's not going to work. Yeah, don't do that. It's pretty stupid. Just take a sat-nav with you or something. Yeah, even if you like bolt your TomTom onto your handlebars, it works better than having nothing. So yeah guys, that is pretty much it for this video. I'll be signing off here. If you liked it, please do me a massive favour and subscribe. There's more content coming to the channel soon. I'll be doing this video today, and also there will be another video up Sunday, which will be a little bit more exciting than this. I just wanted to make a video and go out for a ride. And if you wanted to know anything about me touring on this bike or me going long distance on it, then feel free as always to drop a comment and I will answer back as soon as possible. I do answer all, if not most, of my comments, especially on my more recent videos. And also go and check out the rest of my channel if you're new here. Thank you for watching. Yeah, I hope you guys have a good day, and yeah guys, have a good one. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next motor vlog.